Hi, this is registered clinical psychologist Dr. Amitay. I often get asked in the media about things such as research on the brain. For example, today on News Talk 1010, I was asked about a study that said that depression and stress can shrink the brain. And what the study did show is that these phenomena can repress or prevent the creation of synapses or connections between cells and neurons in the brain. This is very important preliminary research, but that's it. It's preliminary. We're not explaining anything. We're just describing phenomena, and the reality is we don't really know what it all means. But the big problem is that people with an agenda are going to make some grand claims that might not be true. For example, pharmaceuticals are probably going to come up with some claims saying that, for example, 42% of the population has this type of vulnerability from birth. It's genetic, it's biological, or whatever else. Never mind the fact that we often can't tell the difference when it comes to these things between something that a person's born with versus something that they develop through early childhood experiences. That doesn't matter. People with an agenda are going to present things in ways that help them. So they might start selling a new drug that is supposed to, for example, help make these synaptic connections it's irrelevant. The brain would probably develop them anyway, for example. The other thing is that people who have these kinds of concerns, or some family member might be suffering from something like depression, for example, they get desperate and they seek help, they seek answers. And I'm concerned about the people who are supposedly providing these answers. For example, almost 15 years ago, I was involved in some research on Alzheimer's. And again, the research was so preliminary. But as soon as people heard this on the TV, they were calling up the lab and they were saying, please do this study on my grandparent, because they were desperate. They had somebody, a loved one, that they were so concerned about, and they were seeking any kind of answer. The reality is, 15 years later, we're still not that much closer to understanding or being able to treat Alzheimer's. So I hope that the message that I tried to convey on the radio, which is we have to be very critical and skeptical when thinking about these matters, really got through, and I hope it gets through to those listening to this.